citizen on Canadian soil is an unacceptable violation of our sovereignty.
In June this year, Hardeep Singh Nijjar was shot dead outside a Sikh temple in Surrey, British Columbia. Nijjar had campaigned for an independent Sikh nation within Punjab known as Khalistan. He was wanted by the Indian authorities and had been warned by the Canadian intelligence agency there were threats against him. The Indian government said today the allegations that they killed him was absurd and were completely rejected when the two leaders met in New Delhi last week. Canadian authorities have now expelled a...
India, the government of India, needs to take this matter with the utmost seriousness. We are doing that. We are not looking to provoke or escalate. We are simply laying out the facts as we understand them, and we want to work with the government of India to lay everything clear and to ensure that there is proper procedure.
Either India did not do a good job of covering its tracks, or there might be someone who is talking who was involved, or perhaps another country provided some intelligence. So that's also a mystery how Canada was able to get such compelling evidence. But this is a very unprecedented case. Like, we weren't able to find another case in the past where someone was killed in Canada and that was suspected to have an international ally involved, like India.
And so what has happened since that case? For the other, because it's a big Canadian Sikh community.
Basically, their family members are kind of being held hostage in India in retaliation for some of their democratic activities and political advocacy for an independent.
Surely the Canadian Prime Minister is aware how much international interest there is in this. The Americans have called on the Indians to comply with the inquiry. The British are, of course, negotiating their own trade deal, which is near the end. There are implications to what Canada is setting out.
So far we see some rhetoric, some words of support and constant trade and political relationship, but in its core, that other countries like Britain will not follow suit, and that
which is near the end.
So far we see some rhetoric, some words of support and condemnation from Western leaders, but not being followed through in concrete. And in fact, a spokesperson for the British Prime Minister has said that Britain will not stop trade talks in India, that these explosive allegations from Canada